everyone, it's Lucy from My Crazy Craft Life, and I'm here today with the design team post for Scrapping for Less. Today I'm going to be using the April Flavor of the Month card kit to make this fun Concertina pop-up card. Now, these are for the panels that are going to kind of go on what looks like the stairs. You're going to need a 5-inch square piece for the front of your card, a 7-inch by 5 1/4 piece, and then 2 pieces at 10 1/2 inches by 5 1/4. The 10 1/2 by 5 1/4 piece is going to be your card base, and you're going to score that down the center, which is 5 1/4. The next 10 1/2 by 5 1/4 piece you're going to score at 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4, 7 inches, and 8 3/4. And that's what's going to kind of give you that accordion, the stair kind of look that's going to pop up as part of this card. The next piece you're going to have to score is the 7-inch by 5 1/4 piece, and you're going to score that at 1 3/4 inches, 3 1/2 inches, and then 5 1/4 inches, and that's going to go in the back of that other kind of accordion piece. Now you're going to start off by just folding over your card base and making sure you have a nice clean crisp edge there, and then the accordion fold you're going to go back and forth and do like mountains and valleys. So you're going to fold back and forth, and I like to do this one at a time and try to make sure that I get it really straight, because the thing when you're doing these types of folds, if you fold it all at one time and it's a little bit screwed up on one of the one of the folds, one of the creases, then it's going to kind of screw up all the way down and get worse and worse as it progresses throughout the card. So for me, doing it one at a time. Now I've watched people make these and do them all at one time, and it is fine and it works out fine, but for me I like to do it one at a time, and I take that little bit of extra time to do that. So like I said, I wanted to be able to make this out of a regular sheet of cardstock and not a 12-inch piece. And so that's why I figured out all of the dimensions. And all of these little stair areas are going to be 1 3/4 inches. So each section is 1 3/4 inches by 5 1/4. And that's that 7-inch piece. You're going to do the same thing, have the accordion fold. So you're going to go back and forth, mountains and valleys, and score each crease, and that's going to kind of go behind the other one. So here you see you glue the sides down like that. You glue those sides on the inside, and that's how it looks. Super cute, right? And it's very easy considering how cute it is. And I just think there's so many possibilities with this card that you can do. I love it. I love fun fold cards. As you probably have seen as of late, I've been doing a lot of fun fold cards. This is the piece, like I said, it's a 5-inch square piece that I'm going to put on the front of the card, and I'm going to use the stamp that was part of the Flavor of the Month kit, which I can't think of what the name is right now, and I'm going to look because I have my ingredient sheet in front of me. It is Country Roads, and it's a Country Road stamp. Oh, well, that was pretty simple. I actually thought that's what the name was, but then I was like, oh no, it's not going to be that simple. Anyways, I stamped that, and I used the brown, the Mocha for Your Next Stamp ink cube that we got in a prior kit, and that's what I used to stamp everything in this card. I like the brown because I used the brown card base, and then I used the stencil and the same brown, and I decided I was going to leave that flower in there, and then I wanted to use that Country Roads Take Me Home part of the stencil on the front of the card, and I just masked off a little bit so that I didn't get I didn't get anything on there from those stars. However, I did get a little bit on there from the flower because I was going too fast and got a little bit right underneath there that I ended up using my what kind of eraser is that? Using my eraser to take off that, and you can kind of see it right there. And I'm not going to color this image. I wanted the front not necessarily to be plain. I like the front. I like how it looks. I think it's just enough. It's a lovely card when you look at it, but I love that when you open it up and it pops open like that. I think that's a lot of fun. So there I am just playing with that. Now when you make the panels for these cards, this particular one I made at 1 5/8 by 5 1/8. And the reason why I did that was because I wanted a very small line around the a very small border around each kind of step area on there. Now if you were doing some layering and having a lot of different things on there, you might want to do the 1 1/2 by 5 inches, and that's, you know, a 1/4 of an inch border, and that would work well too. I also used those corner photo tags that were part of the kit that was one of the collections. Now you're going to see on the very last one there, on the other side on the bottom, it's actually smaller. It's because I cut it the wrong size and I didn't have enough left, and I decided I was leaving it. I didn't care, and I would just put it on the bottom. But that they are all supposed to be the 1 5/8 by 5 1/8. And I don't think the way that this lines up, having that one on the bottom, really looks too bad. Then once you kind of put this together, you're just going to decorate it however you want to decorate it. And if you want to do multiple layers, so if you put one that's 1 5/8 by 5 1/8, and then do one at 1 1/4 by 4 3/4, and that would work well too for layering. Obviously it's going to make the card thicker the more layers that you do on it, but this is already a very thick card, so don't, you know, worry about that too much. But I decided I was going to use the little cowboy and cowgirl, and I just thought these were adorable. And then I was using some of the sentiments that were part of the Country Roads stamp set, and I just cut them apart, and I'm going to make banners, and I'm going to kind of put them on opposite ends. I'm going to color a little cowboy and cowgirl along with it because I think they are super cute, and like I said, I love when you look at the front of the card and it's kind of a simple, nice card, and then you open it up and it's like, pow, here you go. And I just, like I said, I really like how this card turned out, and I just think there's a lot of possibilities to be able to do all sorts of different things with it. That Country Road stamp is really a beautiful stamp. When I made my card using that stamp for the blog hop, I really wasn't sure how that was going to turn out, and I'll be honest, I was a little bit concerned with what I was going to do with that stamp, and then that is probably my absolute favorite card that I made. This is really a great kit. It's a lot of fun to work with, so I love this kit. And there I am just stamping it. And like I said, even for the sentiments and everything, I am using that Your Next Stamp Mocha, the brown ink, to stamp all of the sentiments on there. And I just use white because on the inside of the card, a white panel, and behind that white panel is the Starch Rain. So I just used white for the sentiment strips to kind of create those banners. Now I did use the Hero Arts Intense black ink to stamp the images that I was going to be using. My little cowboy and cowgirl there, they're so cute. And I did use Copic colors to color them. But here I'm just stamping the Howdy, and I did use the Your Next stamp for that as well. And I originally cut it out of a scalloped punch that I have. And then I decided, wait a minute, I have that denim tag that was part of the kit. So I ended up just stamping it, or cutting it out of a small stitch circle die and putting that Howdy onto the denim tag, and I thought that was really cute to go along with this. So those are the colors that I used for the coloring. I did not leave the coloring in here, but after I cut the images out, I did use the Zig black marker just to go over the edges of all of it, because it's that white paper, and I think it gives it a little bit of a more finished look when you do that. And I don't always do it, it kind of depends on the card, but since these were going to be standing up, I wanted to, like I said, just do that and give it that little bit more finished look. Now the next part is we're going to kind of put this card together. So you're going to take your card base, and here I'm actually going to put this on first, and I had a lot of trouble getting this straight, but then I really had trouble, and there's one corner that's still not straight, and I couldn't get it straight with the paper in there. But I just pop that in there, and then I put that on there and leave it on there. And then on the inside of the card, when you glue this down, you're going to glue one side down and then the other side down. And you're going to start off with the larger piece, the piece you're going to see in the front, and you're going to want to make sure the edge is out, facing outwards. And you're going to want to make sure that you line that up really, really well. So you want, if you got to move it around, I like using the liquid adhesive because that helps. Now you want to make sure that the creases, the corners of those two creases butt up against each other, and then you're going to put that right next to it, and you're going to butt that second piece, the 7-inch piece, right up against it. And then once you get the one side down, you can just kind of feel your way around. I like to do the second piece first and glue that piece down, and then go back and glue the first piece down, just to make sure, because it's a little uneven. You know, that outer piece is a lot thicker than the other one, so you want to make sure that you're getting them right where they need to go so that they line up properly. And then I just had to move that around, you can see that, so that's why it's nice to use the liquid glue, because it gives you those few seconds to kind of get things together. Now here is just piecing it together and kind of decorating it. And then I do cut these down and kind of create some banners with those and pop those onto the stairs, and I kind of did it opposite so that one was going to be facing one way, one was going to be facing the other way. I put the howdy up on top. Now you do want to make sure that whatever you put in here fits inside of that space. So each space is the 5 1/4 inches by the 1 3/4 inches. You want to make sure that it fits inside of there, because this does not fold down so that you can have something larger that's going to pop out. So these images are perfect because they fit exactly in there. You know, you have like a 1/16 of an inch to get away with. But I just popped the sentiments in there. I am going to pop my little images on there, and that is pretty much going to be it. I do take the twine that came from the tag that I took off of that denim tag, and I do tie it into a bow and stick it on the front, and then I use some enamel dots that are from the kit to kind of finish this off. And I just think this card is so much fun. It's super easy, and I think it's very, very cute. And I love the fact that I don't have to have 12-inch paper, and I can just make it from a standard size piece of cardstock. And see how it stands up there? So however you decorate it, you will be able to show all of your work that you have inside there, because it stands up all by itself. Like I said, I just think it's great. I think it's so cute. But that is pretty much it once I kind of get through with finishing up these little last bits for this card. So I am glad that you joined me today. I hope that you're enjoying the videos, and make sure you hit subscribe, check out our other videos, and head over to Scrapping for Less. I do know that this kit is sold out, but we want to make sure that we're putting up lots of inspiration for you when you get your kits. So there you go. There's my card. It was lots of fun. Thanks, and I hope everybody has a great day and stay safe. Take care.